recording now. I got the survey pulled up, so I'm going to. I got it to the point where it's asking about where how would you rate it overall. So I skipped all the what'd you purchase it for, the PS5?
Listen, everybody has a PS5. No one has a PS4 anymore.
Don't exist anymore.
My name's Linda Skirtle, and I have a complaint to make. My Subway sandwich was soaking wet when I brought it home, and I can't eat soaking wet sandwiches. If I can get a brand new sandwich.
So hard to maintain. I can't whistle all the fucking time.
My salty, sweet and sweaty.
I get nice and sweaty when it comes to watching the young men on the video cameras.
You have to remove.
Huh?
You have to remove your teeth in order to do this all like that.
Oh, shoot, sweaty boy.
It looks like Blake froze on us.
No, I'm doing the survey. These are the dumbest questions.
Are you gonna do the survey real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no. Something smells like cheese.
Things smell like cheese.
I don't know if it's the refrigerator or my wife.
Oh damn, man! Wants me to type some shit out. I'm gonna have to do that later.
Yeah.
Because I do have some things I want to share with them.
I figured we could do the survey first, just get that knocked out.
Oh, like on stream?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bet. That sounds good. Well, then I'm still writing my pros and cons for Full Core and Hailstorm. I'm struggling with my pros for Full Core. Not a big fan of the fight.
I'm gonna have the web page brought up because I have a feeling I'm gonna forget one of the Night Lords. Hey, this is Miyazaki. I just want to know how y'all felt about Nightreign. This is the real Miyazaki, so, trust me when I have the questions.
I mean, there's a lot of little bugs. Which part are we doing? Oh, wait. Did you ask a question?
Oh, I was just waiting for Blake to prep before we officially start.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm good.
All right. Welcome to the SOLO4LIFE podcast. We're doing a Nightreign review with Blake and Alex.
Hello.
They look ready.
I'm ready. Ready, Freddy.
All right. So we're just going to start on the survey first. Going to pull this up right here. All right. So the first question was overall level satisfaction with the game from a scale to 1 to 10.
I would give it an 8.
Yeah, 8's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Okay. Alex, what do you think?
Well, it's one of those games that I'm down for it to be build up from there, and that's about Dead by Daylight, for instance. Over time has more killers and more perks that you can put on. That the new killers bring, that you can put those perks on other killers, making the combination of strategies massive each time a new character is added, giving you a whole new set of builds just off one perk that was added to the game, because you can combine it with other ones. Anyways, my point of that is that any game, especially from where it starting, can easily build it. Like, even if they never come up with a new idea again, and they just use old assets the entire time, it would still work. But all you have to do is just keep adding more content. But there's also a low amount of rewards for continuing to play the game after you've beaten, like, okay, I've beaten Gaping Maw or Gaping Jaw, up purple, whatever, and now I gotta wait 5 days, 6, 7 days to fight another new boss. So I'm only
You beat
playing.
you beat the you beat the enhanced one.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, oh, I got you. Yeah.
But yeah.
So you don't think they're dishing out new content fast enough?
No, I think there needs to be a better gameplay loop. Having the same map over and over again is very stale. Um, Not having a very wide selection of bosses and only having Elden Ring, um, well, assets as far as any, you know, under the castle boss or really all of them. Only time you see a Dark Souls boss is in a day or in a night boss, and
I think that some of the Dark Souls bosses would be benefits as a field boss. You know.
Mm-hmm.
fuck, I would love to see the Capra Demon just walking around. I would. Okay, so this is where Nightreign could excel incredibly, is by letting the lore of Dark Souls and Elden Ring seep into one another and like become, and like you can now make this endless story inside the Dark Souls realm that would make you just want to play it like every day. But easily, all you have to do is just, I don't know, a fan could come up with the connection of the worlds. It's easy. They do it already in the game. I mean, Artorias and all that stuff. So basically, you could, from here, from Limveld, you could easily go to any Elden Ring place, but you could also revisit Dark Souls places in a much more open terrain, or even prior to what happened. Or you go to, or Dark Souls 2 has more than enough content to add to Nightreign that would literally last it for years, really, if you timed it well.
And they could definitely reuse
I agree.
asset level design assets as well to kind of just really slap in there.
Fan, it would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
People
Yeah,
are like, that's lazy. Like, I don't care. The fan doesn't care, so why does it matter?
Yeah, and I really hope they fill in more of the map. The map just, I've had several, pretty much every run is where it's just a lot of emptiness that I'm running through where I feel like I should be doing something. I understand if there's a path that I already cleared out, and I should be able to easily pick another path where I'm like, okay, well, here's another line of stuff I could be doing instead of just spending feels like an eternity to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
So, what out of 10 did you pick, Alex?
8.
8? Okay, so we're all at 8. All right. So the next one is which elements in Elden Ring, Nightreign, if any, did you enjoy? And so the first one is the Night Lord that appears on the third day. Huh?
I'm sorry.
The
That
Night
doesn't
Lord
make
that
sense.
yeah, the Night Lord that appears on the third day. That's not really specific enough.
That whole question doesn't really make sense.
So not born.
So that second one is the bosses that appear on the first and second day. I'm very mixed on
Oh, I
that.
see. Okay, so it's giving you different options,
Right?
and
Yeah,
the
you can
the
select all
first
of them
the
if you want
first
to.
option. Okay, I got you. Um, I got a lot of thoughts about all that, honestly, but I don't. I'll wait my turn.
Well, I guess in general, yeah, I like the concept of fighting a Night Lord at the end. The bosses on the
I
first
mean,
and second days, yeah, in general, yeah. I mean, when
I
it
can
comes to
easily take or leave them.
and I mean when it comes to specifics, I mean that would be something different. But yeah, and like I think it's just asking in general, what do you appreciate the Night Lord that appears on the third day? I don't know.
Well, I mean, not trying to insult anyone's comments. Um, well, I mean, I personally like all the Night Lords. I think the Dark Drift Beast definitely being my lowest, but I still like all of them.
I wonder if there's a good time to go through all of them. I guess, unless you would rather just go through the whole survey.
I
It
mean,
doesn't matter to
survey's
me,
fine
but
because it's more not our thoughts.
Do it now.
The survey is our thoughts, so that would
No,
probably
I
be
mean I'm just using the survey as a guide to talk about the game, basically.
that one.
Okay. So the scenarios of each character.
we were talking about the remembrances.
I guess so. I didn't really, I didn't dive in. I didn't really care for that myself. I didn't really haven't done that much of it though. Um, I do like. Well, I haven't really played around with all the character skills in Ultimate Arts because I haven't unlocked all the characters. Having present characters. Sure. Random events. I feel like there's not enough random events because it's really exciting when it does happen, and I feel like it doesn't happen enough.
Yeah, I agree. And they have like the raids are their own thing, which are cool. Like we have the the Margit raids, the Libra raid, the Augur raid, and I think there's one more maybe. Uh, and then we have little stuff like the cataclysm, the tornado thing that appears over a ruin or something, and it has the invaders. That's a cool little event. And then the Eye of Sauron Tower. That's a decent little event. But and then you have the shifting Earths, which
Mm-hmm.
but it's all together. You'd think that that would be enough, but something like that doesn't happen every match.
Right.
And not saying that it needs to happen every match, but if I feel like they should happen more often. And I feel like honestly, if you're gonna let us choose what Night Lord we're gonna face off each run, give us a toggle to toggle on
Yeah.
the shifting Earths and let us choose which one we want each time. Which maybe that's kind of what they're doing with this new merchant that we have yet to unlock. We'll have to wait and see, but
I think the
yeah.
way I would improve the map would add corners with different realms,
Oh yeah,
and kind of like what they're already doing, but it's just one section of the map. Maybe add three more corners of the map that have different scenarios and stuff like that. Like one side is Mountaintop of the Giants, the other side is the city, and then so on.
yeah, that would be cool. And I also like as far as the map goes, I'm really disappointed. Like there's like I gave this game an 8, and I really I really maybe even loved the game, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a few things that really disappointed me. Like there there is no reason that there is only this one map. There's no reason for it
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. I mean, even if you were just going to keep it strictly Elden Ring and not have like biomes from Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Demon Souls or hell even Sekiro, but that wouldn't even fit there. That would be really out of left field. But I mean, there's just no reason not to have assets from those things built into the map. There's no reason, I don't think. You're going
Yeah,
to bring bosses and enemies. Why not just go the extra mile?
yeah, and I was really looking forward to a whole map being the mountaintops of the giants.
Yeah.
This map, I was really looking forward to just learning how each map worked, and then yeah, like you said, just when we got the game, it was just the same map, but when an event happens, it does change that map a good bit, but still, it's just in the general map. And so it doesn't really make much sense just to have that same general map when it could have just, each Night Lord could have had a different map.
And
I
the
mean, the
shifting earth,
Caligo could have had a Mountaintops of Giants. That would have been appropriate.
the shifting earths kind of sort of did that. Like the
Mm-hmm.
Eternal City one is clearly a play on the not the underground city in base Elden Ring, and then the mountaintop is clearly, I mean, that's basically just Mountaintops of the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Scarlet Rot Forest, I mean, that was pretty, that felt pretty new and unique. I liked that. It felt different from the swamp.
Oh, I was only there once.
Yeah.
DLC
But
map.
the crater, for example, there is no reason that whole area couldn't have been, Lost Izalith. You know what I mean? Or in the Demon Ruins. There's no reason it couldn't have been like that.
I mean, if we're gonna have Dark Souls bosses, you might as well mix in all the other cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the Eternal Noxtella City type deal, that was really cool, and it fit with the aesthetic. But shoot, if you're gonna do a big city thing like that, give us Anne Orlando. Give us Yarnum. I mean, something. The map, it changes very subtly between runs. Like sometimes there's a grace right here, and now there's not a grace on this run. And I could usually run through the water and through this ravine right to the middle castle, but now there's a big wall, there's a big cliff there, and I can't run through the ravine there. It's like really subtle stuff like that, and I feel like they could have done more.
They really need to add in more bosses, because it feels like more often we just come across bosses where I'm like, that you just know that one's going to be tanky, and that one's going to be spamming a move that's going to drag out too long. Of course, you can shoot it with bows, like with Magworm when he's just walking away with lava. Of course, you can shoot him with bows to constantly inflict damage, but still, it's just dragging out. And when you keep your distance, I feel the Magworm probably initiates it more often, and then you got the Bell-bearing Hunter, which is one of my favorite fights, but I do agree he is very tanky and takes a while. It takes a while for anyone to defeat. I mean, but they definitely what do you think about the boss at the top of the castle? Do you think it's appropriate for that boss to have so much health, or do you feel like it's just not often enough where you can go up there and comfortably fight it?
It feels. Yeah, go ahead.
But I think if it's a Crucible Knight Castle, due to how much runes you've already got, it should be something at high level.
I almost feel like it's not even worth fighting the rooftop boss when it's a Crucible Knight Castle, because the rooftop boss guaranteed has a shit ton of health. And then we already get so many runes from the Crucible Knights and the basement boss that I almost feel like we're better served trying to do something else than fight the rooftop boss. But I mean, maybe not. Maybe not.
How would you guys feel about a system? Let's just say you walk up to the middle castle and there's an icon there, and you can pay a certain amount of ruins, and it will change the castle variation. Like, let's just say, oh no, the trolls, I don't want that, and then you go to the icon, maybe pay 10,000 ruins or 100,000 ruins, and it changes it to the Crucible Knights.
I think that's a very interesting idea. I don't know how practical it would really be.
Maybe a big old purple puff of smoke appears.
Yeah.
Like one moment, a player would be fighting a troll, and then it'll switch over to a Crucible Knight. I think that'd be really funny.
You think they could have like a seamless transition, or you think they'd have to?
I think it could be done very easily. I don't think it would be that much of a problem. So I'm sure everybody's cool with the automatic leveling up system.
Yeah, I quite like it.
The wide range of mobility options such as dashing, climbing cliffs, and spirit stream jumps.
Life altering.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, but going back to the auto level up, you know, it'd be a cool addition. to give yourself like a directive. So like that way you can experiment with like different builds per the moves per character. Give you a little bit wider strategy, you know, like make the wilder an intelligence build, which you can. There is I forgot what it is, but you can. Oh, the Libra. You can offer the deal to change your certain build to be S rank this or that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not really clear on how all his different deals work.
Does every character have a beneficial transportate mobility specialty? I know Wilder's got the grappling hook, and does the Executor, does the beast form cause you to walk faster, or is it slower?
You move pretty quick.
As the beast?
Yeah.
That'd be cool if there was a mobility specialty for one of the characters where you can transform into a moon and travel.
That would fit for the recluse.
Mm-hmm. So I think there definitely could be some more mobility features for the characters that they could add in.
I honestly think only Wilder and Iron Eye have like a special mobility, like
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Raider, I don't think he really has anything, does he? He's more of a just a slow dude.
No,
he's just a tank.
Good.
Huh?
Totem Stella does a lot.
Well, I'm talking about mobility. I mean, yeah, you can raise his character up and get out of a pinch in terms of elevation, sure. But if you have it available, of course. But
The recluse does have that fancy little float dodge thing, and then the Duchess, she does like double dodges every time or something.
What do we think
Like
about?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to change the subject unless you had something else to say.
No, not really, not of substance. Go ahead.
All right, so the next one is collecting relics. I don't really get excited collecting relics.
I don't either.
I was at the beginning.
Feel like it. Yeah.
But after a while, I was like, most of these are just trash that you can just sell. I mean, you might get it. There's definitely a few good ones, but I feel like the system could be a lot more rewarding.
Yeah, it becomes apparent very quickly that the relics are garbage.
Someone
a select few.
So someone mentioned perhaps a some kind of crafting system where you can grab one relic and another and combine them together to create a new relic. And considering the formula and the characteristics of each relic will help form a stronger relic, I think that would be a lot more fascinating to deal with. Play around with.
I think they need to overhaul the relic system in some form or fashion.
Yeah, I have a feeling the relics are not going to be the same a year from now. But who knows?
Like they need to make like getting a good relic. They need to make that like more common, or they need to be able. They need to give you the ability to, like you said, like create relics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but yeah, they got to do something, because as it stands right now, they are cheats and not the good kind.
So the next this page says, please select all the aspects of the game that you did not like. The first one is night falls too quickly, leaving insufficient time for equipment upgrades and leveling up. So what do we feel about the time?
I feel like the time is generally pretty fine. I think, as long as you're being, being smart with your time, efficient with your time, and making the right choices of the locations you're going to, I think the time is perfectly manageable. The only time
time is a big part of your decision making too.
Yeah. Now I do think that maybe the storm is a little too punishing, but I think it's also generally fine as well.
Yeah, I feel like if it was reduced any, it would remove the thrill.
Yeah, it's generally fine. But
Um,
I do like now if they were to dial it back some, one thing I would hope that they don't touch is the fact that if you stay in it longer than 100 seconds, you basically get insta killed. That prevents people from really really taking advantage of it.
Because
how
Hectic Grace are still active in the storm.
Yeah,
how would you feel about a boss that you had to fight to extend the time?
I think that would be really cool, actually. I don't know if you guys have had this happen to you yet, but I was playing with the randoms last night, late last night, and after we defeated the second night boss, which was an ancient dragon, another night boss appeared, and this little message popped up on the string, a test of strength or something like that, a test of something. It was intentional. They dropped another boss on us before it took
I,
us to the Night Lord, and it was a Deathrite bird.
ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, right after we killed the ancient dragon. Have you guys had that happen to you where they drop a second straight night boss on you at the end of night two?
I thought you had to do something in order for that to happen.
Well, I don't know what we did, but it happened.
I'm just wondering,
Maybe
well, you know,
maybe it's an effect. Maybe it's an effect for making a deal with Libra.
Deathrite Bird is definitely one of those bosses where you probably need two people shooting projectiles at it and one person finding it up close, or at least drawing its attention.
Well, he's so weak to holy. As long as you
Yeah.
have some holy, a strong holy spell, you can manage him pretty well.
Mm-hmm. So
I haven't seen the Stealther Demon yet.
no, I haven't seen him either.
It's another one, man, and that's another thing. They need to one of the things they need to work on the most is the randomness because
Mm-hmm.
nothing feels random enough.
It
And
feels too random in the parts that you don't want it, like the day night bosses.
yeah,
You know, you're like,
and then
well, Commander Neil 25 fucking times in a row.
the oh, dude, I'm telling you what, there is absolutely zero reason that we should be fighting Wormface and Commander Neil, Crucible Knights, Tree Sentinels. There is absolutely zero reason for us to be fighting those bosses at the end of nights. I think that's actually really
Oh, you still don't
really
like the Tree Sentinel
crappy.
fight?
But
I just don't think it has any business being in that slot. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we fight? If you want to have it out in the field, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But why are we ending a whole day with that boss fight? Why?
the whole
I
day
don't.
with
It doesn't make sense to me.
the Farum Azul guys, that's a whole boss fight.
Yeah. I mean, what are we doing? I don't know. I think that was a poor choice, and I don't, and I hope because and a lot of these things, every single one of the issues that I have with the game can be fixed with in patches and updates. Everything,
Mm-hmm.
and so I have a lot of hope, and I guess hope is maybe like too strong a word, but I have a lot of optimism about the future for the game. But
Mm-hmm.
they really need to. I hope that they ask the community, and I hope they listen. Because I feel like there's lots of people that kind of have the same feelings we have.
Oh yeah.
I think the game was not intentional, and I think they were forced to make it.
Oh, that's an interesting take.
Well, I
Maybe.
mean, the only real new thing in it is the Night Lords and the character Night Bears. Couple ideas from Fortnite, couple ideas from other roguelikes. You know, really it wasn't all that innovative.
I wouldn't call it innovative.
I would say that you have a golden goose called Dark Souls, and you could literally
Well,
slap it.
it's called the golden goose is Elden Ring now.
Oh yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but yeah,
You just
yeah, for
slap
sure.
that in another style of game, and it's going to be played. And soon
Yeah.
we're going to have Elden Cart, and that's going to be.
Oh, surely not.
Nah, they're not gonna go that far.
I don't think we're gonna get Elden Cart.
We might.
You
I think
imagine
I think we're more than
Radon?
likely to get an Elden Ring turn-based game than Elden Ring cart.
Play it. It's turn based. I heard that
Elden
the
Ring turn based would be pretty wild, but you got to keep the parry mechanic.
But make it like Expedition 33.
Yes, exactly.
You guys need have you guys been playing around with the 100% physical blocks on
No,
Nightreign?
I have not. Even since you told me, I haven't
Maybe
messed with it. I need to.
if we do an expedition after the podcast, maybe you guys can play around with that. Maybe that might help you
Yeah, I
guys
need
out a little
to.
bit with the avoiding damage.
are we all three
Yeah,
the same character again?
we can do whatever, bro. I think I'm actually going to be Revenant this time.
I'm gonna be Raider.
I'm too addicted to Wilder. So let's move
Wilder's
on.
fun.
So yeah, we do like the amount of time to gain equipment upgrades and leveling up. I feel like there is enough in there. It's just like I said, I do wish there was more stuff on the way to certain objects. You can easily get distracted by stuff that doesn't matter. And here's another point I wanted to make is that how long before those smaller things just become a redundancy? Like how many times until we just start bypassing the Guardian Golem entirely, or just smaller bosses don't drop enough ruins? I mean, when's that just going to become a small percentage of people actually traversing through those areas? I mean, do you eventually just raise up the ruins, or do you change the enemies? I'm just really concerned about the overall value of that long term wise.
Yeah,
Is
yeah, for sure.
I mean, at the beginning when you first play the game, oh, okay, all you gotta do is go here and kill these enemies, and over time, like, oh, this is just a complete waste of time. I
Yeah,
mean, is it
and
just forever there to be a trap for new players, or did they actually want to
I think
improve
if
on that?
you kill the Guardian Golem and all the little trash mobs that surround them, I think you get like 12,000 runes for that.
Mm-hmm.
Which killing the Guardian Golem is fast. That's an easy, quick amount of runes, but then
Is it
you're
really
wasting a
worth
couple
it every
minutes
time?
killing
I
it.
mean, the loot he usually drops isn't very good. Is it always just really basic loot? I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Usually, it's usually either a weapon or maybe a character like buff of some sort.
All
I
right.
don't. I don't like the events buffs. Oh, some of them are cool. Well, okay, I take that back a little bit, but I also kind of wish that it would still be in the same reward system as the other bosses. Like when we beat Margit, like you have the option to let every side of grace strengthen you, or maybe Margit's sword, or
That's another thing. We need more boss invasions like that. I really love stuff like that. And I've heard several people say that the pursuer from Dark Souls 2 needs to jump in there.
Absolutely, dude. It's begging for it. It's begging for it.
What would be a good boss from Dark Souls 1 to invade? Gravelord Nito? Would that be appropriate?
Um,
that's too big.
how about patches?
Patches?
It's not really Dark Souls one, or and he's not really stuck in any one game.
No, but I feel like he needs to be in this game.
Yeah, he needs to be in there
And,
somewhere.
and as an
He could,
invader,
he, he
it
could
would
be
make
on the
sense.
moon. He could just be on the moon.
The moon would be Patch's face. You see that toothy grin.
It could be the Night of Patches. And just a bunch of
Oh
crap is
god!
going on. It's just chaos on the map.
Every time you walk next to a cliff, you get pushed off by some invisible force.
And then Moon just keeps. Is a whole Majora's Mask scenario where his face keeps getting bigger because he's getting closer to the earth. And then you just go up his nose.
Oh god!
Dark Souls 3. What's a good invader from Dark Souls 3? Boss wise.
For Dark Souls.
How about Gundyr? How about Gundyr?
Yeah, Champion Gunder would be good.
As a invader,
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
what would make him a good invader?
Yeah, he's a
Well,
good
like
fright.
you know how like Morgott invades us sometimes.
If Margot invades us, I don't know. Like, doesn't he have like a whole revenge deal? I don't know. And
No,
then
no,
the
I'm not
pursuer.
following lore stuff. I'm just following what would be cool and what would be fun.
Well, I'm thinking what would be cool, like in a specific, like a hunter. You know what I mean? Kind of like, I don't know, the pursuer. How he is.
Mm-hmm.
Have,
What Ruben?
I
You don't get
tried to like do
Dark
this,
Souls 3
and
being
what will it
more of
do?
a hunting
What?
kind of boss.
I'm trying to think about any hunters. I mean, if we wanted to follow something lore-wise, Dark Souls 3. I
Maybe
don't.
maybe as close
I'm
to
just.
build wise.
I don't
How
know.
about a dark wraith? Dark wraiths.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely should
Like
be
a
seeing those things. Uh,
team of dark wraiths coming at you. I know Orlando really. It should be. There's no reason it shouldn't be involved.
We should have black knights and silver knights.
oh yes, there should be an Anor Londo setup where you have to avoid getting shot by arrows. I would love that.
Which I feel like the giants throwing the pots are kind of like an homage to that, but
In
you
a
know,
way, it is a funny
suck.
scenario. I do love it. A lot of people hate it, but I have a lot of fun with it.
The pots.
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of classic, just brutal, dark, level design From Software used to have. I mean, it's still somewhat there in Elden Ring base game, but I just really love figuring out how to navigate through stuff like that. And if you're not
Yeah.
paying attention, it can still get you.
I wish they would just
Mhm.
dump the entire Dark Souls 2, like all of the enemies and bosses, and just dump it into the game. You know what I mean? Like just for like the ruins having the royal wrath
I like
or shit like that kind of thing.
I like to think that bosses like Wormface are just placeholders for bosses to come, perhaps.
That's what I would like to think as well.
But
I would
then,
like to think that.
what if someone comes in and complains saying, "Oh, I love the Wormface boss. Why did they replace it? I can't fight it anymore."
And go find a Death Blight ruin. Then go find a Death
I
Blight
mean, you can
ruin.
move the Wormface somewhere else in the map as an Evergel or something like that. That would be fine.
He's that same worm face is the boss for every Death Blight camp.
Keep them there. Use a
All
perfect death blight, put in fucking
So,
basilisk in there, and you're good.
so do we all agree that we do not like the little variation in the field maps?
Yeah, no, we don't love it.
What about this is a big one, lack of communicating in-game features. There is no vocal chat.
It's a huge bummer.
I think they should have presets. I do not think that they should allow people to freely communicate with each other. That'll ruin the game. I think there's tons of games with presets. You got Monster
That would work.
Hunter, you got UFC. There's quite a few games that have preset words that you can display and little stickers and tags and whatnot, and tons of other games.
I would be fine with a lobby chat or like a proximity type chat. I would be fine with that, but I think the
Do you think
The-
strangers are going to listen to each other? That's what I'm thinking. It means like, hey, come over here. Nah, I'm not doing that, man. I don't know. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I have a bad perspective on random players, but I just don't really see.
a random who was 10 years old who knew better than we did.
I would feel better knowing at least that I could communicate, and then they just chose not to listen. I would at least feel better about that.
Yeah, good
I
point.
think stickers or presets would still be the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I think that would be a good solution. I would be fine with that.
What is it, Alex?
Presets.
Presets
Like preset text
like-
blocks.
text blocks. Okay,
Yeah.
that'd be funny if you can do a gesture and a text bubble pops up.
That would be funny. The the gestures are also a fun form of communication, and then the prattling pates.
They just need to expand on the prattling pate. Really,
That would be a really cool idea. That would be really cool.
What does this mean?
more friendly.
It says can no longer play with friends and acquaintances.
What?
I don't get that one. Because I mean,
don't
I can
understand
play. I can play with friends and acquaintances.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's. I'm not gonna click on that one because I don't understand it. Am I missing something?
Nightreign and being like, you can't play with your friends though. You have to play with randoms. You have to.
No,
get out.
the game would have been dead on arrival, I think.
It would just be like from software, like, well, we're trying to give you a life challenge here. You have to go talk to people.
Oh, this one
Challenging outside of the game.
This one right here definitely bugs me a lot. Is the when reviving down allies, the attacks are not registering properly.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little wonky sometimes.
I feel like it shouldn't matter where what kind of area your weapon is striking. Like, just say your weapon is horizontal and it's just right above the character. I feel like that shouldn't matter. There should be some kind of beam of detection. It shouldn't
Yes,
matter.
absolutely.
The
Definitely.
only
Go ahead.
the only argument against that is that when you're playing Dark Souls or Bloodborne, your hitbox is still directly where your weapon lands. Like that is your hitbox,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep it pretty tight to the weapon. So I don't know. That sounds like wanting to get rid of a mechanic that's always been. My argument towards the hitbox of your own weapon, because if you do aim down, all of your hits hit.
Well, we're just specifically talking about reviving the character.
That's what I mean. I mean your hitbox. Okay, well I guess maybe a pillar of it would probably be
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
like just a column above that you can still hit,
Right.
or as if we're still standing.
Now, should that work for projectiles too, where you can just shoot that invisible pillar, or should it just work for melee weapons?
So when
Probably just for melee weapons, because you can lock on, so with ranged, you don't really have any excuse to miss.
Can you free aim with a bow? I haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, you
With
got
the
to two-hand
target,
it.
with the reticle?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I haven't put in the correct buttons yet. So the next one is the respawn points are awkward, which can lead to instant death situations at times.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What are some example? I haven't really had that many problems with the
Um,
respawn.
in the Eternal City when we were fighting Estelle, it
Oh,
spawned us like halfway across the city away from the fight. It was absolutely ridiculous.
how should those work? I mean, should you spawn at the side of the nearest side of grace, or
Yeah, why wouldn't? Yeah, exactly. That's their whole function. Like
yeah,
what?
that find
Like
that
what?
very strange also.
Like when I didn't like when that happened and I did not spawn at the site of grace. I was like, "What's going on? Is this a bug? What is this?"
they'll
And then
like
it happened again, and it happened to Alex too, and it was just like, "What?"
happen with the fucking center castle. If you die on the roof, you land on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they respawned you down. Yeah, I mean that's absolutely insane.
There should be a side of grace in that middle section of the castle where that table is. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
right. Are you talking about where the chests are? Where we get our talisman?
No,
Yeah.
no.
I think
That
that's where one should.
you know where those two trolls are? That middle room between the two trolls with the
Yes.
table.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a side
Yeah.
of grace should be there. That would be an amazing spot for
It'd be
one.
a good place.
All right, so the next one, I already crossed out some things we already talked about, like little variation in boss fights, weapons, bosses being too strong, too difficult to defeat. So the next one is can't customize my character.
Skins are
So
fine.
yeah, the skins are fine. We knew what we were getting into. They told us, hey, this is basically like these are like heroes. This is like
How roguelikes work. Roguelikes are literally
so.
as with each individual character to have a different style of gameplay. So when you want to customize your own character, it's like, well, what's the roguelike then? You know what I mean? Like
I,
now
Yeah.
you have preset characters that you're just always gonna play.
I would
And
personally love it. Um, it may be
no
that
relic.
you could start out as a naked. Yeah, if you're creating your character, you can just start out completely naked. But as you play the game, you can collect outfits that you customize yourself with, and some of them, you have to be earned by doing great feats of challenges. And I feel like that would add a lot of value to the game itself. It's
I
just
think that
throwing in outfits that can be earned, and then you show off, say, "Hey, I got this outfit because I defeated the Nameless King without taking damage," something like that. But they're not going to do something like that. But just defeating all the Night Lords. Hey, you got this special helmet. You got the Tree Sentinel helmet, or whatever whatever people find cool in the game.
Hmm.
See, I thought you were
Yeah.
saying like happen to find armor in the map. I'm like that would just be time consuming.
No, just earn it. No, not picking it up with it. That would make things too confusing. Not just picking it up. I'm talking about just earning it, just like you would with relics.
I agree with that. Or at least more ornaments that you can start with, or I don't know, not ornaments, but at least like
Yeah, the
I
starting
would like to
weapon
be able to
thing.
put a I would like to be able to put a passive on my starting weapon.
I think if you're
roguelikes.
using a default character that you created, I think probably you should probably just start with the club. Really, just to kind of solve the starting weapon issue.
My biggest issue with it is that roguelikes are meant to still have progression. Like you're getting relics, and you beat the bosses, but like an earlier complaint, once you beat the bosses, what is there to do in the game? You know what I mean? Besides playing with every other character and just do the same map with every
Yeah,
other
just do
character.
it again. Just do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There's no new builds. There's no way to like be super creative because you got three relics that give you about as good of stats as putting +3 or getting a +3 level in Dark Souls or Elden Ring. It's very pointless.
yeah, and hopefully that it gets improved over time. I'm very confident that variations are going to be a big thing a year from now.
Yeah.
There needs to just be like one more mechanic that adds a bit more strategy to it.
I think we need at least one more version of a permanent upgrade system.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish that the catacombs were in the map.
Yeah, I thought that they would experiment more with underground locations, but they really
Yeah,
haven't.
caves are yeah caves are quite pitiful, and I think catacombs should be a more complex. Um,
Now, I did discover a catacomb area in a catacomb type area in the Eternal City event.
oh, okay.
Yes. So the next time we have that, I can take you over there and we can check it out.
Yeah, something that can maybe you could do the whole has its own map thing where once you go underground it has its own map, and then it's more thrilling when the storm comes starts to come in, and then yeah you got to memorize your way back.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think a nice complex underground system would be cool. It has its own boss fights, and the risk of going down there, the rewards are greater.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
What about can't cross place with other platforms? How do you guys feel about that?
I think it's pretty lame.
I don't.
I would rather
I wouldn't
be
want to.
able to.
I will definitely want to be able to disable PC though. I don't want to play with PC players.
Well, I mean that's one thing. Yeah, PC is one thing. I mean, but I see no reason that I can't play with people I have it on Xbox. You know,
Right. Yeah, I
no
definitely
no
agree.
reason at all.
PlayStation, Xbox should definitely be together.
But yeah, PC. I mean, everybody knows PC guys. They hack the game. They break the game. You know. Yeah.
So this next one is please select which best represents your perception about the game's overall difficulty. I can't select multiple ones. It's basically it felt unreasonably difficult and I couldn't figure out how to play, or it was too easy, which made it less enjoyable. So what do you think?
I think the hardest part about the game is just figuring out how to, you know, itemize each run. That's
Mm-hmm.
it, really.
Do you think it was challenging but rewarding and enjoyed playing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, most of like 80% of 90% of the time, yeah.
What
Now,
about
sometimes, you know, some runs can be pretty frustrating when the drops are absolute ass, and
mm-hmm.
then you don't have any camps or installments that have the weakness for the boss. It's like what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah, the middle one is where I'm at because the other ones don't really relate to my experience. Because the next one above that is it was difficult because I couldn't figure out how to play, but that's not the case. And then the one above that was the one I read first. The
yeah,
one below is the difficulty was well balanced, but I don't feel that's the case just as yet. I don't know the middle. Well, that one's also the middle one. They don't have a direct middle selection. Is the middle selections are it was challenging but rewarding, and I enjoyed playing. Then the other ones was the difficulty was well balanced. The next one is, how would you rate your willingness to continue playing Elden Ring Nightreign in the future? Don't want to play at all, somewhat don't want to play, can't say either way, somewhat want to play, or really want to play. I'm.
I don't know.
I,
I've been having a hard time playing Elden Ring prior to Night Rain.
I-
Right now, I've been super excited to get back into Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm.
what's that?
Like, it's been much more
What?
exciting for me.
All right, then. What is your deal? Why are you acting like a crackhead?
Well, because I like to play Dark Souls more.
I'm sorry, I was talking to my dog.
I'm just saying. You know, I like the older stuff, personally. So Night Rain is a bit more exciting for me because they are trying to add a little bit of the older stuff to it, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
It's just such a more just a more narrowed down, confined experience. You know, like you're not going to have many lulls in the action. Where in Elden Ring, you know, you can go for God knows how much time and not anything happen.
Hmm.
that's choice.
Huh?
That would be choice, though. I mean, I don't know. I've spent at least 50 hours in Dark Souls 2 just looking at things and grinding.
Yeah.
You know, like going like,
Oh yeah.
Here, use a bonfire aesthetic until it despawns. Use it again until they despawn.
Yeah.
Beat the boss. I beat the Doom Knight.
That would be a cool feature, actually. Bonfire aesthetic, where you can refresh the boss but increase the difficulty just to fight it again.
I don't know how that would work in this game, but
Yeah. Like, what would be the reward for doing
yeah.
that?
Oh, well, more ruins, of course. And, you know,
Yeah.
higher... Let's just say, you know, the original drop is just tier 1 weapons. You just say you use a
Yeah.
bonfire aesthetic, and it raises it up to tier 2 weapons.
And then maybe if you use it again, it's a guaranteed legendary
Yep.
weapon or something. Yeah, that could
Exactly.
work.
That would
could
be really interesting.
We should have
Also, the basic drops, like, you know, like throwables, who the heck is using throwing knives when you have unlimited arrows? That's what I'm a little
I
confused
know.
about.
It's so weird. I also think that's so weird.
I think they should have a boss tier system going before we move on from the last conversation.
I got the
so-
whole Night Lord thing going on my website. I mean, I got the wiki list of bosses we're going to go through in here in a little bit.
Oh no, I was saying like, so we got our Night Lords that we have now,
Mm-hmm.
but like there should be like, I don't know. You know how Diablo goes after you beat the game, you get the next hard difficulty.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
what I think Nightreign should do. Like, okay, now let's do a prestige run. Like, I don't know, like something like that. Something just a new game plus, if you will. You know, like, I don't know, just give a reason to beat the game again.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
agree.
I just have fun building my character all the time. I may not like most of the Night Lord, spoiler alert, but I just love building, just seeing how well I can build my character until I get to the Night Lord. And usually, a lot of times, I just play day 1, day 2, and then just quit on day 3 sometimes because I just want to restart again. Alright, so I clicked on really want to play because I'm still just having a blast with it, even though we've defeated all the Night Lords. I mean, I still got to do everything solo. I've only done
That's
2,
where I'm at
and I
as
got to
well.
work on it.
You still have the upgraded to beat.
Do I know?
The upgraded Night Lord.
Oh no, I haven't defeated that one yet, but just in general, all the Night Lords.
But and by the way, that after after the enhanced Adele goes away, I think we're getting the enhanced Gladius next,
Okay.
and that'll be the next week's
I can't wait
enhanced
to
Night Lord.
I can't wait to see how they enhance that one.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
'Cause-
And then I think the final one that from the first round of enhanced Night Lords, I think the third and final one is going to be full core.
I'm just wondering, because Gladius, he just switches from being whole to split. He doesn't exactly have a second phase, from what I remember.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they just just add on to the split. Maybe I don't know. I can see them adding some crazy stuff to the split. Well, the beast, whatever they are.
Yeah.
The next one is how likely would you recommend Nightreign to a friend or acquaintance?
Very likely.
I think
Yeah, I did it.
I put down extremely likely 10.
But it comes with a caveat.
Yeah,
Like get the game, but let me play it with you. Like
right.
you need to play this with people
Exactly.
to
Like,
get the full experience.
My acquaintance on Facebook who wanted to play with us.
Yeah. Yeah, if he wants to play with us, he needs to join the Discord or something.
Yeah, I've never met him. He was just in
Oh.
my Facebook. I don't know. I like to network.
I got you.
I mean, most
Yeah.
of the time I get a lot of stuff out of that. So,
Yeah.
It's asking me where I found out about Nightreign. It was on a it wasn't on some kind of state of play or something like that.
No, it was revealed at the Game Awards.
I don't see that as an option unless I'm just totally looking over it. I guess I'll just
Yeah,
click
it
on
was-
other.
It was revealed at the Game Awards.
Dang.
Not this past year, but the year before.
Okay. Please select the 3 sources. What? Oh, okay, I guess I'll just skip that one. Select all the games you have personally purchased. Well, of course, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring.
Every single, all of them. That should be the option again. All of them.
Wait,
All of them.
then it goes into Monster Hunter.
Actually, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
This game has a lot of aspects from Monster Hunter.
Why would it mention Monster Hunter in a Nightreign survey?
Well, it's got Monster Hunter. It's got 3 Monster Hunter games listed. It's got 4 Armored Core games listed. Fortnite, Helldivers, Risk of Rain series, Apex Legends, and Destiny.
Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay. I see what they're doing.
Have you often experienced the multiplayer miss? Following, yeah, played that one excessively. Blah blah blah. Demon Souls not that much. Well, the PS5 version not that much. We experienced the multiplayer.
I don't know what it is. Well, I guess I can't.
I'll just.
I just realized that I still don't own Dark Souls 2 and Sekiro on disc.
Wait.
I need to get it back. And my friend
Can you get?
a rough game.
What?
Oh yeah,
a
you
few
need to get
times
that
over.
back.
Which are the first?
Like 6 years.
He's had your game for 6 years.
I haven't talked to him in 6 years.
Oh, that's his game now.
So, yeah, no,
If
that's-
anything important to you, I'm playing. Okay, here we're back to box selecting. Which of the we can only select 3. I can only select 3. Which of the following, if any, are important to you when playing on console/PC games? We got challenge, strategy, world and story, visuals, social, customization, exploration, sound, competition, development, build up, role playing, action, collection. Definitely challenge, strategy. World and story is not very important to me, but visuals, social, customization, exploration.
Exploration's a pretty big one.
Oh yeah, I'm not too big on competition.
See, I'm a huge exploration guy because my favorite games are still Outer Wilds and Subnautica. Like those games still reach a very high peak for me. That even just seeing someone else play it goes like, I might play it again, even though I platinumed it.
Okay.
Outer Wilds is a game that I've been meaning to play eventually.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to only collect. I'm supposed to select only 3. I forgot.
It's a puzzle game, ain't it?
Yes, but it just gives you chills. It's just like one of those games that hits your soul. Makes your third eye open. No, I'm kidding. It feels like a DMT trip, though. That's for damn sure.
I've heard that it's a very moving experience.
It's a very it's insanely thought provoking, and I think that was like because it would just have me kind of sitting there just going, well,
Yeah, everybody that I've seen that played it says it's like it's one of those games you wish you could forget that you ever played and play it again for the first time.
All right. I went ahead and wrapped up the survey. There wasn't really that much more on it.
exploration.
Oh, oh,
Gee,
yeah.
So, who do you want to start off the Night Lord talks?
Hold on a second. Trying to look at. What is this?
Lucy, relax.
All right, so I have Gladius Beast of Night pulled up. Might as well start there.
Yep. Sounds good.
So let's do one con and one pro.
One con and one pro. Okay.
So I'll go ahead and start. The pro I have with this boss is that when the boss is whole, it's really fun to fight. I love reading the telegraphs. I love the punishing it. The fire blasts I feel are very reasonable in that form. And when it's just staying in that form, I love the fight. But when my biggest con about it is when it splits, and my biggest issue is that just all three of them can attack you at the same time. You can get caught in a crossfire, and there is a solution already in Nightreign for this, and that's the Tree Sentinel. When you're fighting the Tree Sentinel solo, the Tree Sentinel can call the two lesser knights to come in and attack you, and then they back off again. And that I feel like that should be the design in the Gladius fight, where the dogs are not constantly on top of you, where it's just completely chaotic that way, and just where everybody that fights this boss solo without taking damage just runs away the entire freaking phase of the boss. So
When he's separated.
Yeah, when it separates.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the enhanced version is going to do in terms of that. They might make it worse, but that's my pro.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting. All right. Well, my pro is that Holy is one of the easiest affinities to acquire in the game, so I never have to miss out on his weakness. And then I also quite enjoy I quite enjoy evading the giant 360 chain spin that he does.
Yeah.
I always have a good time rolling through that. As far as cons, so something that I realized about all these Night Lords, not all of them, but almost all of them, is almost all of them have this weird gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not a fan of Gladius's gimmick where he splits into three. I'm right there with you. I'm not a fan of it. And he also suffers from another weakness that almost all the other Night Lords suffer from, is that he moves around way too damn much.
Yep, definitely.
But yeah, that's about all I got on him.
And that's going to be a reoccurring cons with me, a lot, retreating and
Yep.
having to run away a lot.
I think I wrote that down on 4 of the different Night Lords as far as cons go, is that they move around way too fucking much.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Alex?
All right.
probably say that my biggest con with Gladius is when he splits into 3, you can't control aggro, and that's kind of annoying because when you got 3 wolves, you got 3 people. Why can't all 3 individuals aggro each one individually?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having one just be like, oh, I'm going to change my...
Yeah, I agree with that.
Over to the guy who is nowhere near me. Aggro, I think aggro is... I think they put it on just a randomizer, and there is no, like, strategic form of their aggro.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're so aggressive. And so that I feel like that's kind of where the mechanics lie, is that they become so aggressive, so that way they can just aim at whoever and just go ham, and it's probably gonna work.
Yeah, they
If I
definitely need to tinker with how aggro works because you can be Iron Eye popping off arrows from way across the map and way across the arena, and then the boss is just slow walking towards you while the melee people are just hammering away and he's not paying them no mind. It's kind of weird.
both taking away difficulty and adding difficulty because it adds all it does is completely cut immersion. Like it doesn't feel like strategy is really a whole big part of it. It's more like all three of us are fighting a Dark Souls boss who's so hard that needs all three of us. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like we're. So when it comes to Gladius, like there would be a cool mechanic to where you could at least lure each one you hit. You know what I mean? Like almost if the aggro was on. That could be hard too because then everyone would be hitting it and the aggro would just be going in circles. But I don't know. I
Yeah.
just feel like the whole randomized aggro does not make sense. It really defeats any strategy that could feel meaningful to you. And when it comes to like fighting big things like that, like in Monster Hunter, you know what I mean? You got people laying down traps. You got people who are throwing sleep grenades or tranks. I mean, you got people who are hitting the boulders way up in the sky to land on them to stop them from doing a move. Like we can still do that with like the alts in Nightreign. I'm getting off track. Sorry. But just saying, like, with the whole strategic part of Gladius it would be a lot of fun if the mechanic was a random.
Do you think bosses, some bosses, not all of them, should have perhaps stuff like ballistas from the pursuer fight that you could fire, but they can be broken by the boss? So maybe you can use it once or twice if you get lucky.
I mean, they have those kind of mechanics in Monster Hunter,
Right.
where they have like the Dragon Piercer, which is this big giant drill. But I think it would be cool if there was relative items being dropped, maybe to like keep with how I don't know. Ballistus feels weird. I really wish. Okay, I'll save that for the last boss.
Okay, so is Gladius on anyone's top or most disliked at all? Or is it kind of just neutral?
He is dead.
I'm neutral, very neutral.
Yeah, I don't hate it and I also don't love it. So,
Yeah, very neutral on Gladius.
all right. So next is Blake's favorite boss, Adele.
100% my least favorite boss in the game. My positive. Uh, I had to think real hard about this, honestly, but and I'm kind of cheating because the pro comes from his enhanced fight, but I kind of dig the tornado gimmick where he cuts the arena. He is to a fraction of its size, and you have to make your way into that tornado. I kind of dig it.
Hmm.
Uh,
Change it up a bit.
huh?
It does change it up a little.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting thing that they went to do with making the arena kind of unique because I don't know if you guys realize this, but the arena for the Night Lords is the exact same every single time.
Besides the last one.
They changed it a little bit, but you're basically just in this big fucking sand desert pit.
Fighting
But
Radon.
yeah, yeah, we're basically fighting all the Night Lords in Radon's arena. But
But a
also
lot flatter.
the fissure the fissure AoEs that he does, where it's like these like fissures like spider web for out from under him. It's satisfying. It's satisfying to weave my way in between the cracks and kind of avoiding taking the damage from them. Kind of satisfying.
Hmm.
Cons, his grab attack I hate his grab attack. I hate it so much. It's bullshit. It's the most bullshit move in the game. I hate it. And he moves around way too much. And he has way too many AoEs that he uses way too often.
Mm-hmm.
I would say you could compare that to Horalu.
You could.
But Horalu has really manageable AoEs though.
But grab attacks constant.
Yeah, I learned to deal with his AoEs after a little bit, and the grab attack. Oh, that took a little more time to learn, but I did learn it.
And Adele could be. I mean, you got to think. I mean, how many times have we fought Adele so far? I mean, what has it even been 10 times yet?
I'm pretty sure we can look and see exactly how many times each of us
Yeah.
has fought him.
I mean, compared to Godfrey, I mean, I've fought and I've attempted and defeated Godfrey freaking so many times compared to Adele. So there could be a good solution with AoEs. We're just not seeing it just yet. I mean, I saw one guy just simply walking around the fissure attacks. So there's definitely something there. But were you done, Blake, with your input?
Yeah, I'm done with him.
Yeah, so my pro, I really like the Vort similarities where he's charging at you and you dodge towards his charge and get a nice punish in that. That's really satisfying for me. His attacks do look cool. I like his design for sure. But the cons is that I don't like his telegraphs. His attack telegraphs are not satisfying to read. They're not satisfying. Most of them are not satisfying to punish. And then, I'll repeat what Blake said about the AoEs. They're just rather annoying right now. They're not exactly clear. It seems to be very vague with the solutions.
And the wind up for his grab is so fast too.
Yeah, and it's really rather hard to tell when you need to dodge it as well. That's the problem that goes into the telegraph. It's just not memorable.
You have to watch for that visual cue, that blue
right, exactly.
Of, light.
I mean, that can happen, but then you still got to time it just right. Because with the bell-bearing hunter, I've noticed that there's inconsistent registerings for dodging that grab attack properly and getting that boost for the ultimate.
Notice you just run away. You just literally just turn around and run the opposite way.
Oh, I mean, I did a feat where I was actually dodging towards the grab so I could get that boost, and I did
that's a tactic that works with almost all the grabs.
But I did it 3 times, and 2 of the 3 times I actually got the boost, but the other time I didn't, even though I did dodge the grab successfully. So there's 2 specific windows, one for the boost and one to just evade the evade the grab in general.
Yeah.
But
Adele, I feel like, is one of the worst offenders of the too often moving around. I feel like he's literally just constantly launching himself from one side of the arena to the next. Super annoying.
He's fun solo. I remember when I did my solo run for him, pretty much the worst part of it was when he was doing the AoEs. That's when I basically lost all my flasks. Was just like, oh, I hope I dodge out of all these AoEs, but maybe I just need to run away at a certain time and let him have his fit and then run back. But it seems like he doesn't have a very long of a cooldown. Then he just starts doing AoEs again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something about Adele that I feel like
the enhanced version's even worse.
Oh yeah, I mean I like the tornado stuff, and you get to fight him in a smaller arena. But then again, he just starts with the AOE crap again. And you're like, what am I supposed to do? When do I get to attack? Sort of deal. And but Adele for right now, I kind of have to put him neutral because I feel like there's a lot more to learn about him, and I feel like it's unfair for me to dislike him at the moment, even though I do understand the criticisms.
He is my least favorite boss in the game at this point.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Alex? Second favorite?
Yeah. I think he encapsulates the team effort perfectly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I kind of feel that way about the sentient pest.
Oh yeah.
He would definitely be higher on that list for how the teammate, but I think Adele encapsulates the difficulty of it. You know what I mean? Like it forces you to maybe think a little bit. I just feel like the strategies we choose to go about are the reason that we struggle. I would say that we all were, I don't know, Guardian, Raider, and Wilder, right? Like I feel like the entire fight and experience of how much you like it would change.
Yeah.
I feel like unless you fought him each Night Lord under three at least general builds, you know, because each, just like Elden Ring, each build has a much bigger, or each archetype has a much bigger chance of beating each individual boss differently. Like I had the hardest time with the Wolf of Radagon in Elden Ring with the Faith build, but or no, with an Intelligence build, but a Faith build did fine because I had higher poise and could just tank through it. But the Intelligence build, it was fighting Intelligence against Intelligence, and the Wolf of Radagon is way better at that. You know. Anyways, I know. I'm just saying. Adele has just this bit of difficulty that I like, that encourages the team to set a deliberate effort.
I just wish he would do less AOE's. I wish he would do them less often.
Mm-hmm.
How often are you away from him though? Like, because when I see his AOE's, I'm usually out of the way as Iron Eye, or even as Recluse. I'll be like completely out of the AOE's, and then you got Guardian, who can just take those. I don't know, you know, like it's just that Wilder's right in the middle, and Executor's right in the middle, and Raider and Guardian are up front, and then you got Revenant in the middle, Recluse and Iron Eye in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Duchess up front.
Yeah.
And his fissure AoE, for example, has a really fun evasion tactic where if you can dodge it and then jump and you'll evade the whole thing. You just got to make sure you dodge and then jump, and then in the center of it is actually a free space there.
Dodge just twice. You can
I'm
just
sorry?
dodge twice and evade it. You can dodge twice. You don't even have to jump.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to jump,
forward.
but I mean, jumping kind of, I don't know. You could either do. I think it's fun if you just dodge and jump. I mean, it doesn't matter, but
It changes it up a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so.
Little flare.
But I wish the AOE's were just more memorable. Like, let's just say Adele was he was protected by a bunch of, aura, and you had to evade the AOE's in a certain pattern, like jumping over a wave or rolling through a wave, and you had to do that for a certain amount of time, and then he finally calms down and goes back to nothing but physical attacks and something like that. The AOE's are just not very memorable enough to be exciting to see them, and I feel like that if they're going to implement AOE's, they should implement it in an exciting way, like, oh man, I want to engage with this, but a lot of it's just so vague, and when you see it, you're just mostly panicking, and when you do it several times, you still panic, and you don't really understand what's the most satisfying way to get by it, so you can just start fighting the boss again. Remember Manus with his AOE's? I like, if you look at the past games, how well done those AOE's are done. Like Brave Lord Nito, where you have to run away from him. He's got a really good telegraph for it. You know it's coming. You run away, and then you come back and start fighting him again. Then you got Manus, where his telegraphs are a little bit more vague, but you kind of have a basic understanding of what you need to prepare for. Like you got the shotgun, dark hex attack, the rain, and then you got the surrounding, where the best idea is just to stay close to Manus to avoid that. And those are the type of AoEs I do love, but the AoEs here are very difficult to really comprehend and understand to evade or at least get any satisfaction out of it.
There's a big
Yeah.
that adds to it. Being so big takes up the entire screen when
right.
You're next, so you can't really see what he's doing at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's no fun pattern to recognize either. Let's say he charges up for an AoE and some of the ground lights up. Okay, well, I don't need to be where the ground is lighting up. I need to be where it's not lighting. It's very similar to the That's why I like the Centaur's AOE's, because they're a lot more manageable and easier to comprehend compared to the most of the AOE's that we've seen in the other bosses. Like when he runs past, his trail and plus a bit wider lights up. Okay, well, simply just stay away from that. And I think he has the most satisfying AOE's to evade. The Centaur boss, whatever his name is.
Olgor.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. He also, that's the same name that the you know the plants that you see throughout the map in base Elden Ring that like conjure lightning from the sky and will, like, you know, you'll get struck by lightning if you try to pick the flowers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Those are called Fulcor's bloom.
Oh, interesting.
I do think that's interesting, especially because that's his weakness is lightning.
Hmm.
So there's definitely some interesting lore implications there that you do not care about.
All right, are we done with Adele?
I am absolutely finished with him. I can't wait for us to beat this advanced version of him so I can never fight him again.
We need to start moving through these quickly because it's almost 12 o'clock. All right, So Noster, Wisdom of the Night, of course, that's the Moth and Scorpion. So how do we feel about this one?
Go ahead, Alex.
Third favorite. I would just say that the Sentient Pest is everything that I said about Adele, except not as difficult. So with the difficulty being so low, the memorableness is a little lower. We've only fought him twice and beat him on the second try. So the Sentient Pest, I just think maybe we should just fight it a few more times before.
Do you need to go outside?
Huh?
Do you need to go outside,
I'm sorry,
Alex?
I'm sorry. I was talking to my dog again. I need to mute when I do that.
You know, now that you say that, I have been craving a little desire to call nature. But yeah, no, the Sentient Pest, I just think we fought Adele a lot. You know.
Yeah, I actually went and counted it. I went and counted it just now. We fought him 26 times before we beat him. And then we fought this enhanced version 10 times. So we fought him a combined 36 times.
It doesn't even feel that much. It really doesn't.
Now, actually, y'all's totals will probably be a little bit lower than mine because I fought the advanced version without you guys a few times.
Yeah.
Don't forget, though, this is also just attempted raids. It's not how many times you actually got to the boss.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, good point. I didn't know that.
That's true.
It doesn't tell you how many of those you did land, though.
On the final day. Yeah, it tells you how many times you got to the final day.
Oh.
But with Sentient Pest, I just need more experience with it to find... I find that all of the bosses that we beat on our second try need further analysis anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like...
I don't think we beat any of them first try.
No, we never beat any of them first try.
Libra.
Beat them try. Libra we beat second try.
Yeah, that was second try.
Really?
First try we fucked up by madness.
I could have swore it was the first try we got Libra.
I'm almost certain. I can go check.
Yeah, might have a first try on something. Maybe
I only recall 2 times, and each time we were able to defeat him.
We beat Augur.
No, we lost to Augur on. I mean, we at least once or twice because of the sleep nuke.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, that's the coolest fucking move. Tell me that Augur sleep nuke isn't like the most like heart-dropping fucking thing you've seen.
It actually took us 3 attempts to beat Libra.
Huh. I wonder why I don't remember the time we actually failed at it. Were you done, Alex?
Yeah. I don't really have any cons with Sentient Pest. I thought it was a fun boss. I love the Scorpion's design. That is the coolest fucking thing in the game. For sure.
My pros were, you know, honestly, I thought the fight was wonderfully balanced. As long as your party is constructed properly. I mean, we had a Wilder, and when we beat him, we had a Wilder. Uh, Hold on one second. We had a You were Wilder, Alex was Guardian, and I was Iron Eye, and I'm pretty sure the fight went flawlessly. Because yeah, it was only our second attempt at him. Uh,
They're trying to get used to the fact that they split off.
and then I thought again the gimmick was well designed. If you get caught in the moth's poison cloud, you get this parasite, and the only way to get rid of the parasite is to have one of your teammates destroy it. Thought that was cool, well executed. And I also did not have any cons, but I also wrote down, with an asterisk, need to fight him more to try to pick out
Mm.
more cons. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at too. Where I'm like, I should have fought him again. But really, the pros is that it is a really good team boss. And I love the callback from the Moonlight Butterfly from Dark Souls and the
yeah,
Scorpion Lady from
yeah.
Dark Souls 2.
Hmm.
And I really like fighting the Scorpion. That's just a lot of fun. I never got a chance to fight the Moth. I was always the one fighting the Scorpion. But my biggest con, the only one I can really think of, is just when they combine and they start shooting a bunch of projectiles at you, and the tracking is a bit too much on the player. Too much on the player. I feel like the tracking should be a little bit reduced to make that dodge a little bit more satisfying. I don't think you should. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should be able to outrun it if you time it just right, and then you can punish it. But then I can't remember how often he does it. That's just like I said. I do need to fight the boss again to kind of have a more refined opinion on that part.
Yeah.
So it's just
But
another
I
neutral
would definitely
fight.
put him. I would definitely put him. I'm not new. I wouldn't put him in neutral. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it.
I would actually probably take mine out of third because I don't have enough opinion. I'd probably put Sentient Pest third from last, right below Tricephalos.
So you're neutral on him as well.
Yeah, just because I have bosses I like more.
I think I
Okay.
have Nostra at my top three.
Yeah, I think I put Noster at 3 as well.
I'd probably put him four.
All right,
The next boss we talk about is my second favorite boss, actually.
Maris Fathom of the
Yeah.
Night.
Hmm. A big fan.
Yeah, I think this is the boss where we really clicked as a team. I
Yeah.
feel. So who wants to go first?
I think the bosses
Uh,
are just fucking constant. I don't know, like
he moves around more than any other Night Lord, I think.
no, Folger is definitely the one who does that.
He moves around a lot.
He is my worst, by the way.
But not only is Maris moving around, he's also floating up in the air.
Yeah, he's very difficult for melee builds. If you're trying to melee fight him, that's gonna take forever. So he's Augur. Augur is only good if I'm a ranged build, or if one of us is. Because when I play Augur as Guardian, I am downright useless. Besides to revive people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think taking what character you use into consideration against each fight is important because some of these guys are just clearly, easier to handle when you have ranged. When it's just, I mean, like when we beat Augur, our team makeup was Wilder, Iron Eye, and Revenant. So we had two ranged characters, and then, so that makes a lot of things easier to deal with.
I'd still put Augur above Folger as my least favorite, just because the boss just seems too much. I don't know. Very circumstantial. It doesn't let you. You're gonna have a fuck hard time to play him with Raider or Guardian on any single run, and Wilder will get just a little further ahead because of his mobility. Duchess will get it because of her speed, but I don't play Executor, so I don't know much. But I'm sure Executor, if you were good at parrying, I'm sure that move would probably. I'm sure Executor would probably do very well. But my point is that you're basically taking out half the roster of any fun play. You know what I mean? Granted, I've just seen the best of both. I had the most fun with Iron Eye because of his ult being staggered, and you could stop a lot of Augur's moves with that. Recluse, I had medium fun with. But yeah, Guardian, I just had it was a pointless fight. I was just there to only be support, which is what my build is, but like, I'm doing no damage, the fight's taking forever, and each time we have to deal with a nuke, or each time we don't stagger him before his sleep bomb, we're fucked, you know? So, you need someone who can stagger and move fast. And 3 Wilders would be literally the minimum requirement. You know what I mean, as far as having any melee builds present.
Okay.
Blake, did you already express how you felt? Or
So once again, I thought it was a well-designed gimmick. The sleep nukes, she goes up and drops the nuke, and you got to destroy it before it hits the ground. I like that. And also another cool little gimmick for the fight, and this kind of offsets the how much she moves around, and and being flying around being a struggle for melee. All of the little creatures that she summons, the jellyfish that fly at you, the tentacles that spawn out of the ground, if you destroy those, if you kill those things, it sends these little bubbles at her that do damage, and it adds up a lot.
mm-hmm.
So that is one way to get damage in when she's just constantly flying away. So that was a nice little way to kind of get around how mobile she is. So I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love the sleep nukes. I thought the sleep nuke was cool, like that she drops, but where she settles down on the floor of the arena and starts to like emit the sleep stuff that is completely unavoidable unless you stagger her out of it. I don't love that as much, but that's about all I have on her.
Yeah, I don't know. I pretty much had the same opinion, actually. I think she's probably moved up to my third favorite instead of the Sentient Pest. Because I do like the atmosphere, I do like the thrill of the AoEs, but the sleep thing,
Yeah.
I wonder how consistent the stagger is. I wonder how controllable the stagger is to get out of that AoE exactly. But I really love the thrill. That nuke part, it was just one of the most memorable moments in the game for me. Just seeing it slowly fall, and he got to destroy it before it hits the ground. I love that very much. Then I liked how there was a second one.
Yeah, I loved it. 10 out of 10.
So yeah, that was. I think that was really my only con with it. Was just that AOE that causes the sleep, and then the sleep causes damage for some reason. I don't know if I don't know if you just drown a little bit or something.
I guess, yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be sleeping underwater. That's how you drown. That's how you get. All right. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move on since Blake kind of mostly covered what I wanted to say about Maris. Libra.
He's my fifth favorite.
I feel like
No, Libra.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Libra. I had to write all of them down so I actually knew where they were on a rank.
Mm-hmm.
I have Libra at 5 because it's definitely a lot more fun than Tricephalos, Augur, and Fulgur to me. You know, with the idea of him, I like just that you're making a deal with the devil before you fight the devil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a fun little FromSoft way to throw in the devil. You know what I mean?
It's another cool little gimmick.
Right, but putting out the falsehood of him. You know what I mean? Like this is the Night Lord is good at deception and like blending in basically and getting people to follow him, and it's just I like those ones that have a very human sin to them. If that makes sense. Oh, like I don't know. I know this is super cliche, but I always liked games or animes or anything that would use the seven deadly sins as the enemy names. Like in Full Metal Alchemist, how envy, lust, and gluttony, and all of them were different homunculi to fight. That
Seven Deadly Sins must be your favorite anime.
I really don't care for that one.
Oh.
It's really my least favorite anime. It just does not interest me whatsoever every time. I mean, after the first season, it stopped interesting me, I should say.
Yeah.
Blake, are you done, Alex? Did you have any cons? What were your cons?
He's just very. There isn't really too many cons with him. He is a good boss. I don't dislike the fight. Yeah, really, nothing really bad about him. I think that his reward punishment is very in character. So that's about it.
All right.
I think that again, well executed gimmick. I like the fact that you can basically knock him out of a power up by destroying all the little sigils that he summons.
Mm-hmm.
And they even change it up after the first or second time and start and put like one or two of the sigils up in the air, so you have to like shoot them. And also, if you look at a up close picture of this guy, it's probably one of the craziest boss designs I've ever seen. Like just a character design.
Yeah.
He looks insane. Like if you zoom in on his character, it's insane. It's a fever dream.
It looks like a Bible accurate angel.
That's exactly what I thought of, Zach. That's actually the exact thing I thought. Cons, when he does get his buff off, I mean, holy shit. He's like all the little sigils that he's constantly summoning underneath you. It's a little bit much. But other than that, good boss.
Yeah, this is one of those bosses where I just didn't fight him that much, but I felt like his AoEs were somewhat manageable and memorable, definitely. Like the one where the sigil shoots out the projectiles. I like that. I thought that was really fun to see and evade. But his physical attacks, as much fun as he is to fight when he's not doing a bunch of AoEs, his attack telegraphs are not memorable. It's just whenever I think about his physical attacks, I just think of him swinging his weapon and that's it. I think he has maybe a jump attack, but other than that, I just don't remember much. So I just wish his attacks.
When we inflict madness on him, apparently that makes him go into like this berserker craze where all his attacks are like really easy to evade or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the gimmick with his weakness. You know how when you
Yeah.
poison Adele in his first phase, he stops and throws up and shit.
Right.
That's supposed to be Libra's little thing with that. When you inflict madness on him, he like goes into this mindless rage where he just flails about, and you can just avoid him pretty easily.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I like that. But that's basically. I do like I said, I do like the AOE's a lot more than the presentation of the AOE's are better than his basic physical attack presentation, because I just, like I said, I just don't remember much about them. It doesn't have any kind of cool little wind ups. You know, it was like
Yeah,
fights like Margit and Godfrey, whatever. It's just
yeah.
rather bland. But I could definitely, hopefully, when he gets expanded, maybe he'll be a little bit more memorable. But his character design is fantastic, just in general.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So,
Gone to full gore.
Full Gore. That is my second favorite fight.
Wow.
Hate it. It is the most annoying fight ever. Moves too fucking much.
It's my second least favorite fight.
His health is 42,000 for trio, almost 43,000.
What does that compare to the other ones?
The other ones I think should be around like 30,000. Like Adele. Actually, these have changed.
Hmm.
No, Gladius is 33,000. Adele is, good lord, 49,000. What the? Noster is 39,000. Maris is 38,000. Libra is 39,000. Okay, so I guess it's not too far off, but I could have swore the HP amount was a lot smaller before, but maybe not.
He's got a lot of health though.
Solo, he only has 14,273.
Oh wow, that's much better.
But I guess I'll go first since I'm the one that likes him. So, in a similar way, I do find his attacks a little bit more memorable than Libra, but I do like his AOE's more. I feel like they are more manageable. And I like how his jump attacks are really fun to evade. Like when Alex said, jump, and it doesn't really make sense in terms of how models clash together. It feels like you should be able to take damage there, but you don't. But it's really satisfying dodging that attack, and whenever you can stagger him out of the buff, it's really fun. But it's also not satisfying when it doesn't happen. I don't know if they will fix that, or that's intentional or not. But still, even with that one con, I really enjoy just.
Apparently, it is intentional.
Oh, okay. And then he develops the pus of man arm like Unex Gundar, and it does look annoying at first, but he doesn't really abuse it that much, which he probably will when he's enhanced. He'll probably just go crazy with it, or he'll just go fully formed pus of man. What? But I every time I fought the boss, I enjoyed it. I didn't really get too annoyed with him. Just a few times, but maybe my mind will change if I fight him next time. I'm like, oh dang, I don't like this boss anymore. But that's really
Yeah.
all I have to say. I wish I had a more refined opinion than that, but I remember enjoying. I remember enjoying him each attempt.
Yeah. My pro was I appreciated the second phase call back to Dark Souls 3 with the Pus of Man thing. That was my thought too. That's my only pro. Centaurs are cool. I guess that's my second pro. Centaurs are cool. Um, so and this is probably just a me issue. I think like I hate his little sweep attack where he sweeps his sword out in front of him and then it does like this earthquake shockwave. I
Hmm.
have such a hard time evading that attack, and it's definitely a me issue, and I'm just salty about it. And then, gosh, dude, it's so obnoxious when we don't get to knock him out of that second buff. Like You hit him with lightning one time, and it knocks him out of that buff
Yeah.
the first time. The second time, I'm not even sure we can knock him out of it the second time, but apparently you can. It just still summons some of those spears. But then the next time you can knock him out of it completely again. It's just weird. I don't know. I don't care for that.
Yeah.
And then when he does get the buff when he does get the buff off, he's just doing his silly little charge all over the arena over and over again with his aura of holy energy following behind him. I'm just like, dude, would you relax, please?
I do remember that attack that threw me off a lot, where it looks like he's going to strike, but ends up dragging his weapon. So that by the time I come out of a roll,
Yeah.
he gets me with that attack.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, super obnoxious. He's my second least favorite Night Lord behind Adele. Adele, once we beat this enhanced version of him, I will never fight him again.
Understandable.
Well, there's not really any reason to fight any of them again.
Unless you like just enjoy the fight. Like I would do a augur or a sentient pest expedition just because I enjoyed the fights that much. Or fissure, a Caligo, fissure in the fog. That's another one I really like. But I would fight those guys again just for shits and giggles. Never fighting Adele again.
I just want to learn more about them. That's why I want to fight all of them. Constantly, over and over, because I want to learn something about them. I want to master them.
I understand and I respect that. I do. I don't think I have the patience to do that with Adele.
And I hope
maybe I'll change my mind eventually, but I don't know.
And I hope the game eventually adds a boss selection list. This is one thing I definitely want to mention here, where I think it should, whatever boss you actually manage to defeat, solo, trio, whatever, it should unlock where you can access that boss and just fight him whenever you want to. And you still have the challenge of fighting that boss at the end of an expedition, because you still have a lot of that stress, like, oh shoot, I got this. Got all this building, and whenever you defeat a boss on that boss selection, you don't win anything. It's just for the purpose of practice. You don't get any relics, you don't get any kind of currency. It's just, for fun. The only reward.
I think that. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying, it's just the only time you get rewarded for fighting that boss is at the end of the expedition.
I think that they won't ever. I think that they might not ever do that, and the reason is because if they do that. Like, I hear what you're saying about not giving any rewards and stuff, but if you can do that, if you can just fight the Night Lords at any time whenever you want, and I'm assuming if they do that, you also have to be able to set whatever weapon you want to use and what level you're going to be, just like in the training arena. I'm assuming it would have to be like that. It would just completely make doing expeditions completely redundant. I mean, don't you think?
Well, I definitely get the point about having a weapon selection for sure. I mean, how in the world do you balance that out? Do you just allow the player to select one weapon and then not worry about itemization? Perhaps I can understand it being complicated like that, but I'm sure they would figure something out to where it would you could select something without completely overpowering the boss. Maybe just, like I said, without having to worry about itemization, just pick one weapon that's strong enough to properly pace out the boss, perhaps. Or you can they just give you a loadout and just say, oh, here's just a free-for-all, just do whatever you want, sort of deal. I mean, you can still develop challenges from that. Like me, let's just say, I can just select the bell-bearing hunter, but I don't want to equip anything other than just one sword. That's all I need, just rune level 1. And I can do that, and that's easier for me because I don't have to worry about selecting a bunch of items. But you do have the freedom to select any boss you want, and I feel like you should have the freedom to select whatever weapon, whatever level you want, just for practice. And I feel like that could be a good solution for it.
Oh yeah.
Are we done with Huh?
I am done with Fulgore. I'm done with him.
Okay. All right. Moving on to Caligo, which is my favorite Night Lord out of them all.
I will say one last thought about Fulgore. I will say I do not have nearly the same level of vitriol for him that I do Adele. I would definitely be okay with going back and fighting Fulgor again and trying to learn his fight better. I've learned all I need to about Adele. He's bullshit. He's a fuck boy. He's a fuck
nasty.
boy. Yeah, he's
But
nasty, and I don't like him.
now, Caligo is the first boss you got solo, right?
Yeah, the only boss I've beaten solo so far.
You wanna go ahead and start?
Sure. So this is, interestingly enough, unless I wasn't paying attention correctly, this is one of the only boss networks that doesn't have like, a real identifiable gimmick going on. I don't know if you guys noticed one. Did you?
I mean, he's got gimmicks. It just depends on what kind of gimmick you're talking about.
Well, like how the Tricephalos will split into three.
Mm-hmm.
And once he does, and once he does that in his second phase, he'll do that periodically, and that's like his whole gimmick. And then, I guess, well, okay, well, what would you say is Caligo's gimmick?
Well, when he vanishes, and you gotta wait out for him to do two, either
Okay.
one of the
If
two
I were to-
attacks.
That's also what I would have labeled as well. So I guess that works, but I just think that everything that they did with that fight works. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like there's nothing that occurs during the fight where I'm like, well, that was fucking bullshit. Like why did he do that? Why
Yeah, I
did
feel
they do that?
I felt like whenever I got hit, I felt like it was because of my mistakes.
Exactly, yeah. And then they have things, like with the when he has the giant snowflake up in the air and drops it down. Like you can either run far away and be far away as fuck, or you can run right up on him and punish him. Like that's really sick. And then when he does the other thing where he does the big ice blast AoE, you can avoid that by being directly behind the pillars. I love that. And it's just they did just a good enough job of changing up the dragon formula from base Elden Ring that it felt fresh and it felt fair, and it was just a blast. I
No
think that he is my favorite Night Lord as well.
Any cons at all?
I can't think of any. No.
All right, Alex.
Absolutely my favorite.
Uh-huh.
He's absolutely my favorite.
Nice. It's all three. So all three of us has Caligo as our favorites.
Have you ever fought a boss that wasn't really a gimmick fight and just had these fucking mind-bending attacks? You know what I mean? Like the whole, the sky, the ice ceiling attack.
That's so good.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That-
Good.
Oh, it gave me chills the first time I saw it.
I've.
It was just. It was.
It's very cinematic.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, why can't every
Almost-
Night Lord be like this?
Yeah,
I kind of go back and forth on who's more cinematic, Caligo or Hailstorm. Because the final Night Lord, Hailstorm, his fight's pretty cinematic. But I don't have any cons. I don't have anything negative to say about our Lord and Savior Caligo.
Did you have a con, Alex?
Oh, no.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. The soundtrack, I've listened to that soundtrack probably 10 times
it's
already
good.
when I'm driving down the
It's good.
road. Like
The only one that comes even close is Hailstorm's. Because his OST is also very good.
Yeah, the attack telegraphs are really good. They're definitely the best attack telegraphs compared to all the Night Lords. Whenever he's doing something, I'm like, okay, so he's getting ready to do this attack, so I got to prepare to punish for this, and it's just satisfaction formula is there, so I appreciate it from that aspect. And And whenever pretty much my biggest con with him is the pillar part. I don't really get much out of that at all. Whenever it happens, I'm just more like, just I get it, and there's really no only one way you can approach that, and it's not like he collapses and you can punish him. He's just more. It's just really you don't really. I don't get anything out of that. Not like the ice clouds collapsing where you can go towards him in the middle where you're safe and you can punish him while he's doing that. With the pillar, it's just more like, oh, once it's over, you just resume as normal. It's just nothing. You don't really get nothing out of it.
For me, what I get for what I got out of it was well, and it's not much, granted, but like actually making it behind the pillar because you have to get pretty securely up close behind that thing to negate the damage, or it'll still hit you.
Right.
Like so like you gotta like as soon as you figure out that's the attack that he's doing, and you figure out what direction it's coming from, you gotta make sure you actually get there in time. So I guess the only sense of satisfaction you get is actually, just from getting to that spot in a timely manner, which granted is not much.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, you're
not
just
much.
basically surviving. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could. My goodness, I want to even fight. I want to fight that boss now. I just. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
just
could
want
fight.
to jump
I
back.
could fight him right now. I could fight him right now. He's so fun.
A bit angsty. I kind of want to go fight now.
Let's fight him. Come on. So
Finish
yeah.
off the last Night Lord.
Huh?
Let's finish off with the last Night.
Yeah. So what was his name again?
Hailstorm is how I've been pronouncing it. I don't know if that's correct.
Hailstorm.
Hailstorm. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but that's what I've been going with.
Alistor.
Hailstorm.
Whole store.
It sounds
Whole
it sounds
Foods.
Nordic. It sounds Nordic.
Sounds nerdism.
Ruby, hey Ruby, go brush your teeth, baby. Actually, you know what?
You're right. I do need to brush my teeth. Thank you.
Yeah, go brush your teeth. Yeah.
What do you guys think about
Tell
the
your
final
brother,
boss?
tell your brother and sister to brush their teeth as well.
He's
So
like hard to place boss because
it is hard to place. Yeah.
visually great.
Yeah, visually it's almost unmatched. Almost.
He's challenging, like he
Yeah.
should be, but
Yeah. And it doesn't feel cheap.
no, except one move. His thrust attack with his magic greatsword,
Yeah.
that has hit me when I was nowhere near it several times.
He has a couple of moves that I don't like. Like he does this thing where he'll slam his sword or thrust his sword, and then there's like a delayed AOE after it. I don't really love that.
But even when I'm not in the vicinity of it, I'm still getting hit, and that really made me just want to get over the boss.
Mm.
So he's hard to place on my list right now. Right now I have him at 3, above Sentient Pest, but
Mm.
only because as the final boss, he gives you the challenge. When we beat him, I felt genuine excitement.
Yeah, I was satisfied.
Yeah, and he really gave me the Soul of Cinder.
What are you doing?
But with that, I don't know. You're just taking Dark Souls. You're just taking the piss for Last Night Lord on that instance, because now, okay, we're fighting Ludwig, Soul of Cinder. One thing I've noticed is that none of the Night Lords are
Artorias.
original. Yeah, Artorias. Like they're just a culmination of different things. So like the Night Lord's designs are new and very
Honestly,
cool.
the one that stood out the most to me as like a copycat, I swear, Adele feels like a reskinned hippo sometimes. Golden hippo.
Mhm.
I'd say that he has a very reskinned. He is what Adele is a monster hunter monster put into.
I hate that bastard. I
Well,
hate him.
well, it's like
He's
if
he has the same moveset as Diablo from Monster Hunter. Well, okay, maybe not exactly, but besides his underground attacks, all of his moves are very similar.
I have a theory
Mm-hmm.
that the demon of song swallowed a golden hippo.
You know, for some reason, Demon of Song reminds me of Libra. I don't know why.
They should have called Adele the Falling Star God, because he really is just another falling star beast put on a dragon. He is a
That would make
meteor.
that would make more sense to me if I didn't already know that canonically that the Falling Star Beasts just mature into Estelles.
Oh yeah, that's right. It would be cool though if the off-brand, like males, would.
We're Adele instead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a cool little lore thing, you know, like.
I mean, and honestly, Adele and Estelle are really similar names.
Yeah, because I don't know, the Falling Star Beasts could very well just seem like, you know, like the female version of the beasts, and then Adele's versions haven't really been shown. I don't know.
Why are you breathing on me?
It's just a fun theory to throw out there. Nothing more, nothing.
What's going on with you, Mom?
I don't know. I did remember to take my meds, so I don't have any gas.
So, Blake, what were your thoughts on the final boss?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a Soul of Cinder situation where they were trying to like combine some themes and elements of past, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe not final bosses, but major bosses. Like I felt like we got a little bit of Soul of Cinder. I feel like we got a little bit of Artorias. You know, the way he pulls out that Moonlight Greatsword. It's not a cut scene, but I guess it's sort of reminiscent of Ludwig. But you know, if I'm being completely honest, the thing that stood out the most about the fight was the OST. I felt myself getting distracted by the soundtrack while we were fighting him sometimes.
I have to make one mark that the sky splitting was.
Oh, that shit is so sick.
Fucking things I've ever seen in the game. It's like,
yeah, when he goes into his second phase and or I'm sorry, his second health bar and does all that,
yeah,
it's crazy.
that
I
was,
also think that reminds me one other con. His first health bar almost feels completely pointless.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just give him 2 health bars or out of the same phase or something. I don't know, man. You know what? No, they can't do that. I guess it was best the way they did it. But I do feel like the first phase is a little like, come on, what are we doing here? Come on.
I guess in a way it's a decent warm up, I suppose.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Yeah.
every final boss has to have more than one phase at least.
It's kind of reminiscent of the way he that first phase before you interact with him. It's exactly like Vendrick almost when you interact with him, when you first encounter him in Dark Souls 2, the way he's just dragging his sword along. And then it also reminds me of the end of the Ring City DLC when you finally find Gale in the desert at the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of that too. Gale is another. I could see some elements of Gale in that fight, I guess.
See elements of Gale, Ludwig, Soul of Cinder,
Artorias.
Artorias. I think he has a lot of Gwyn aspects. I think.
Oh, maybe that means we can parry him to death.
You can parry him. I know that much. he's just for a final Night Lord.
It was a good final Night Lord. I was very satisfied with that as the final Night Lord.
I'm gonna say I was satisfied as the final Night Lord, but I was satisfied with the fight.
Yeah, the team effort was really satisfying.
Yeah, like us playing together, that was satisfying. But as a Night Lord himself, it I did feel like I just wanted to get it over with, and with all the pros that I have with him, it was still forgettable in a lot of aspects.
Definitely not as memorable as Caligo.
Or any of the final bosses it mimics.
Yeah, I guess I could agree with that.
I think he's definitely my least favorite Night Lord.
Really? Least favorite?
Least favorite. I thought he was very boring.
Wow.
I do like his the Moonlight Greatsword appearance with the the little 2 wave attacks, and then that thrusting attack. I like that move, but other than that, I was just not very interested in the combat value.
You know, it's weird. I feel like FromSoft often, I don't know if I want to say struggles, but they seem to have a less than easy time sticking the landing with their final bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Like the best one to me by far is Sword Saint. I think that's their magnum opus when it comes to final bosses. But
yeah, Sword Saint, and I really like Radagon and Element Beast, but I don't know how
it's
unpopular
also
that
very
is.
good. I think
absolutely my favorite final boss. I think that was the most epic in terms of its context.
Which one?
Elden Beast and Radagon.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely up there. It's pretty epic, especially when you consider like lore implications about America and Radagon being the same person. It's very, very interesting. But I just to me with Sword Saint, where how you have to, they really take everything that you learned throughout the whole game and throw it all at once with your rematch with Genichiro, to Ishin literally fucking crawling out of his goddamn neck and just oh man, dude, it's just dude, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
That is the peak of boss battling right there.
Yeah, I remember seeing that cutscene for the first time. I was like, well, that might as well happen.
What you said that might as well what your audio cut out.
Sorry, yeah, so when he was crawling out of his neck, I was just thinking, that might as well happen.
Yeah.
But we're about it. We went over 2 hours, but wish we could talk another hour, but it is late and I'm sleepy.
I was gonna say I'm getting pretty tired.
So no expedition to end.
No, it'll have to be tomorrow. But I feel like we covered a lot. We got this we covered the survey and then all the Night Lords. There's definitely other stuff we could talk about, but I don't have another hour in me.
Yeah.
Read some more literature.
All right, I'm gonna have to say good night.
Good night, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, see you guys later.
See you, buddy.